Commander Scott Kelly is a veteran of 4 space flights. He has captivated the world's minds and spirits when he left Earth back in March of 2015, bound for a year-long stay at the International Space Station. It was to be the single longest space mission by an American astronaut, 340 consecutive days in space, all to explore the effects of long-term travel on the human body. And although Commander Kelly maintained a rigorous exercise program in space, the physical toll of the voyage was evident upon his return to Earth a year later in March 2016. Scott Kelly experienced things in space and upon his return back home that very few have. Now, in a stunning and personal memoir titled Endurance, A Year in Space, A Lifetime of Discovery, this astronaut and modern-day hero delivers a candid account of his remarkable voyage, the journeys that preceded it, and his colorful and inspirational formative years. And in November, PBS will present Beyond a Year in Space, a documentary showing Commander Kelly's adjustment to Earth after his record-breaking mission. Let's take a look.
A year is a long time to be in space.
Astronaut Scott Kelly
Welcome home.
and his twin brother Mark
2 men with identical genomes
are part of an unprecedented experiment.
It's not just you readapting to Earth, it's people readapting to you back.
That tests the boundaries of man
Coming back, it was harder than I thought.
and opens the door for the next generation.
This study will help us get to Mars someday.
Beyond a Year in Space premieres Wednesday, November 15th at 9/8 Central, only on PBS.
And we are delighted to have Commander Scott Kelly joining us now to talk about this. So nice to meet you. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk to you about some of the specifics of this mission, and since you've come home, what was the idea behind the mission? I mean, people have talked about it, but specifically for this mission, what were the top concerns, the top things that NASA and that everybody was hoping to get from this mission?
So someday we're going to go to Mars. And, hopefully that's sooner rather than later, but it's going to be a long trip. It'll take over 200 days to get there. You'll have to spend a year on the surface. It'll take a long time to get back. And when we're in space, and maybe even on Mars, there's going to be some physiological effects to living in an environment, in this case, reduced gravity. So there are things that we need to know more about if we're going to spend a longer time in space. And when we're in that space environment, things happen to our physiology similar to when we age, but at a much accelerated rate. We lose bone mass 1% a month if we didn't do anything about it. Muscle mass, there's effects on our vision, which is we're trying to understand. And there's also genetic effects. There's a lot of radiation in space, and that can affect us on a cellular level. And that was part of the study with my brother and I, this twin study, to understand that more. So these problems that are things that we have to solve to someday stay in space for much longer periods of time.
As you look back on it now, since you have been home, what is it that we learned that you think we'll be able to utilize moving forward based upon your year in space?
A lot of the results are not out yet. The stuff I do know about I think is somewhat interesting. I didn't lose, twice as much bone mass in space as I did the last time. It seems to, at least in my case, has just kind of leveled off. You lose a certain amount.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
6 months was some level. You would think, okay, a year's going to be twice that.
Yeah, but
it wasn't.
It wasn't, which is interesting when you have a hypothesis and then the results is something completely different.
Now, let's talk a little bit about when you got back. Right? Because one of the reasons to do this was to determine, okay, what's the impact going to be when we come back? And, and you open up in the very beginning of the book, and you're talking about, whoa, I'm not so good.
Yeah.
Right now.
So, I'd flown 3 times previously, and like we mentioned, once was for 6 months. But being there twice as long, nearly a year, my physical effects that I had was different. I had difficulty standing. I was really, really sore and stiff, so standing up was painful and somewhat challenging. I was dizzy for a longer period of time. I was nauseous for a much longer period of time than my previous flight. My legs would swell up when I would stand up because my, cardiovascular system, for whatever reason, didn't.
They were scary symptoms.
Oh, yeah.
When you read this, the reader is concerned for you in terms of those symptoms.
Yeah, and had I not been in space for a year, I would have been really alarmed and probably would have called 911. But it took me probably about 8 months before I felt completely back to normal. But most of the symptoms go away, within a few weeks.
Last question for you. As you said, hopefully sometime sooner rather than later, man is going to journey towards Mars. Somebody comes up to you today and says, Scott, we'd like you to be that man. Would you go?
The first question I would ask is the return trip part of the deal? If it was, then I would absolutely go.
Indeed. Well, Scott, as I said, the book is called Endurance, A Year in Space, A Lifetime of Discovery. It's a marvelous read.
Thank you.
And we're so pleased that you spent some time with us. You be well.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
And a reminder for you, on November 15th, PBS will premiere Beyond a Year in Space at 9 p.m. It will be preceded by an encore broadcast of A Year in Space at 8 p.m. For more information, log on to metrofocus.org.